各位觀眾，大家好，歡迎收睇26分鐘見證實錄。卑詩省政府早前宣布向社區與僱主夥伴計劃多個項目增加撥款支持，咁用於俾合資格嘅參與者喺低綠平原地區接受消防技術人員培訓，令到佢哋免費獲得專業知識，期望佢哋日後能夠從事該領域嘅工作，舒緩呢一類工種所經歷嘅長期人手短缺問題。咁消防技術人員佢哋嘅工作同公眾嘅生命財產安全有住密切嘅關係。咁但係佢哋嘅工作性質究竟係點嘅呢？等我哋走入佢哋嘅培訓課堂，揾出答案啦。卑詩省政府早前增加撥款20萬元，以支持社區與僱主夥伴計劃當中一個項目，咁俾10多位學生接受消防技術培訓。主導呢一次培訓嘅 YMCA 卑詩省基督教青年會喺發布招聘之後嘅第一時間就獲得有意參與者積極嘅回應。
So since our first social media went out, it was immediate. We have had hundreds of applicants. It's been amazing, the demand in terms of people wanting to get into this program for the trades.
溫哥華、多倫多等大城市樓宇眾多，所有室內場所隨處可見嘅消防系統同設備都必須有專業人員定期進行檢測同維修。城市規劃速度驚人，逐漸令到該領域嘅人手越嚟越短缺。
以我所知道的，很多他們都會把那個退休人士給請回來，因為真的非常的短缺。
提供培訓嘅社區項目伙伴希望能夠喺為期16星期嘅培訓之中，為僱主同潛在技術人員建立合作可能性。
Currently, lots of jobs in this avenue where they are looking for trained individuals in the fire protection arena. So having this gap, which is between a potential participant and an employer, is what we are trying to bridge through the CEP partnerships.
咁學生對於培訓又有啲乜嘢感受呢？
Instructors are good, college is great. Yeah, it's a great program, I think, for anybody, men or women.
當聽到 Fire Protection Technician 消防技術人員，好多人可能會聯想到消防局內嘅消防員或者係工作人員，但係其實消防技術人員每日嘅工作並唔係出入火海，但係就一直守護住我哋嘅人身及財產安全。
So the description says, ATTI classroom, smoke detector.
Is that the alarm going off still?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so there's still a problem. So we got to find out which one's still causing the problem. So that one's
Still
not the
beeping,
problem.
and let's check again.
All right, so we're going to go check the panel.
Yeah.
See if it's cleared.
以上所展示嘅就係消防技術人員工作任務嘅其中一項，檢測出現嘅危機，咁給予及時嘅應對。每棟商業樓宇，我哋所居住嘅房屋、商店、超市等所有室內場所，都係要按規定安裝各種嘅消防裝置。唔少人嘅屋企亦都可能遇過消防技術人員上門測試佢哋屋企嘅煙霧警報器、灑水器是否正常運作等等，以保障居民避免發生火警。但現時呢類工種卻因為各種原因而面臨人手短缺嘅情況。
The shortage comes into play when employers are knocking at our doors. And we have got in the last 6 months so many employers looking for trained individuals in fire protection technician arena, so to speak. There are so many fire protection employers who have currently sleepless nights. As you know, that in Lower Mainland itself, forget about British Columbia as a whole, there is so much construction going on. So having all these, multi-level towers of buildings going on, every commercial or residential building needs fire protection equipment built into their place. Who is going to deliver if there is no trained individuals to do it? And that's where the need for these trained individuals come into play.
又喺呢一個領域從業20多年嘅專業人士，亦都表示同樣嘅擔憂。
Do you have a number in mind in Vancouver or in BC? How many fire protection technicians in this industry? Or
Very small.
very small?
No, I think there's a demand. but I think it's very small. I know going through my career, the fire alarm technicians that showed up on our job sites tend to have been the same guys over and over and over again.
除咗大城市規劃速度快，住宅及商業建築急速發展，令到呢一類技術人員數量難以應付之外，唔少有經驗嘅技術人員面臨退休，亦都係導致呢一個行業急需要新人加入嘅原因之一。
From my experience, I would say close to 50%. I would say from the people that they're in my age category, a bit older than me, and so they've got to be getting close to their retirement stage.
為咗彌補空缺職位，唔少僱主承包商更加選擇重新聘用已經退休嘅技術人員去應對需求。有見及此，卑詩省政府早前宣布向 CEP 社區與僱主夥伴計劃新增20萬撥款，咁俾10多名合資格嘅申請者獲得免費接受消防技術人員培訓，咁為想入職嘅人員提供就業機會，咁同時幫助僱主培訓更多該領域嘅專業人員。呢一項宣佈係 Stronger BC 嘅 Future Ready 未來準備計劃嘅一部分。
It's the fire safety technicians that have been identified as we need more of them. Of course, we want our communities to be safe. We want to have the inspections, the support at a technical level, but it's very specialized work. And so in this case, this particular program in the Lower Mainland is around connecting people that have had challenges getting work with the training to be fire technicians, a really strong in-demand sector, and then the employers are happy that they get qualified, skilled people that they can rely on.
獲得新增撥款之後 ，YMCA 卑詩省基督教青年會以及提供培訓技術之一嘅項目合作伙伴，收到好多有意報名參與培訓嘅人同佢哋聯絡。
Hi there, this is Swipnit calling from Ace College. You were looking for the fire protection training. Okay. How can I help you?
So since our first social media went out, it was immediate. We have had hundreds of applicants. It's been amazing, the demand in terms of people wanting to get into this program for the trades.
最終一共有12名合資格報名者成為學員 ，Sebastian 係其中之一，開始咗為期16個星期嘅消防技術培訓。
It was actually quite in depth. There was many people involved in the selection process. Yeah, I think it took almost a month, and then some people maybe even longer. I was going a little faster because I was putting in a little extra work, a little extra time.
喺呢一段時間，學員會進行檢查、測試及維修各種消防系統同設備嘅培訓，咁包括灑水器、滅火器、緊急照明燈同特殊消防系統等等。合格完成培訓嘅學員將會獲得超過10種技術證書，為佢哋日後踏入呢一個行業提供敲門磚。咁呢一個亦都係吸引 Sebastian 受訓嘅主要原因。
A very good opportunity where it's being offered. I think it's 11 certificates or possibly more. To actually get certified and be certified in the province of British Columbia. And it's an industry that's growing quite a bit because, a lot of people when they move to Canada, they usually move to Vancouver or Toronto. So that's where all the BC or Ontario, that's where all the properties are being built. And on top of that, you have to re-inspect the older properties. So there's a really big opportunity to actually go ahead and, fill that empty space that they need because there's a shortage of these workers.
培訓嘅11個星期期間嘅主要內容就圍繞住就業以及職業技能培訓。呢一個課程嘅培訓導師係電子與通訊工程教授，為學生傳授基本理論知識。
I'm just now conducting 4 weeks of session, which is supposed to be covered by me. So I just begin with very basic introductions of, like, say, what is a work-safe BC environment, right? How people should be aware at a workplace, what kind of hazards may take place, and how to cope with this one. How to safeguard yourself from all hazards. This was about the first week of the delivery. The next week will have some various tools. For example, like, say, electrical tools, power tools, right? The pneumatic tools, some hand tools and all. Immediately after that, the third week will commence with semiconductor physics, which will be very, very interesting for that. So it will have semiconductor physics, like, say, diodes and transistors, and utilization of all these components rather, to make various circuitries, because ultimately the diodes and transistors are some like active devices which we use in the various circuitries and hardwares of the fire alarm protection. So through this 2 weeks of third and the fourth week. I'll be covering all these active components and utilization of those components.
Sebastian 表示佢覺得呢一日嘅課程好有趣。
Today was a little more challenging. Yeah. Yes, exactly. It was like high school science class, physics and science class again, and math. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
對於佢嚟講，課程亦都好充實。
Today we're talking about maybe more the on the fire protection side, maybe more technical. So we're talking about like physics and some mathematical equations of how to actually calculate voltage and ohms and all that sort of thing. So a lot of mathematical calculations today and little quizzes. Did a little bit of training on WMIS, which is workplace health, like chemicals, that sort of thing in the workplace. So yeah, it's an interesting day.
除咗書本知識之外，受訓者咧更加需要進行實踐學習。咁喺下一節翻嚟，我哋就再去睇睇佢哋嘅實踐課堂需要掌握邊一啲嘅相關知識。歡迎翻嚟節目時間。唔當拋開書本，消防技術人員導師喺實踐課堂之中，又會教授邊一啲嘅內容啦？而學員畢業之後又會有啲乜嘢嘅工作出路呢？喺呢一次消防技術人員培訓之中，學員都需要進行大量嘅模擬技術培訓，親自操作。負責呢一次培訓嘅首席導師係有20多年電工經驗嘅電器承包商 Mark Sorensen， 現時已經係佢第5年擔任培訓講師。佢希望學生們喺培訓嘅過程之中，了解到自己工作嘅重要性及專業性。
Every building will have some sort of fire protection, whether it's sprinklers, fire pole stations, smoke detectors, heat detectors, all different devices for all the components. And if any of those components aren't working, we need to know, right? So there's alarms set up to let us know that something's not working. Or it's also for protection for humans on their way out, right? To acknowledge that there's a fire, and so we're able to tell the fire department, pull a pole station or whatnot. So, and then there's also the aspect of the buildings needing protection when nobody's around. So we need it to be automatic, and that's why we install smoke detectors and heat detectors, so that if there is a fire,
咁 Mark 會教學員邊一啲嘅技術操作呢？
As electricians, we come in and we install this. We install the panel. We run the wire. We run the wire between the boxes. We install the detectors, the smoke and the heat detectors, the pole stations. We install all of that so that it's 100%. Then it comes back to this panel. This is the brains of the whole outfit. And all of these guys are speaking back to here. To say, you can hear it clicking all the time. It's constantly checking. It's constantly saying, and you can see these little lights indicating that they're working. It's constantly sending signals saying, hey, everything's okay here. Hey, everything's okay here. As soon as there's a problem, and on this panel, it doesn't matter if this pole station or if it was 50 pole stations, it would be able to tell you the exact, because this is what's called an addressable system. This one would actually be able to tell you exactly what pole station. So this could be on the 5th floor west staircase. And it will say that up here. It will actually tell you exactly which one. So the fire department knows where it was pulled, or it could tell you which smoke detector, 10th floor, electrical room, and they know where the fire is or where the problem is.
日常生活之中，我哋隨處可見着咗綠燈嘅緊急出口標示，咁亦都係消防技術人員需要掌握嘅電工知識，咁亦都係 Mark 向學員傳授嘅其中一個知識。
We have exit signs, and they work off battery backup. And so each one of these will have, depending on the municipality, so certain cities have certain time limits. The minimum by Canadian code is 30 minutes. So this exit sign has to stay on for at least 30 minutes. But if I was to go to Tsawwassen Mills or something like that, that particular mall, they required 90 minutes. So the exit signs, when the power goes off and there's a power failure, the emergency lights go on, and they have to stay on based off the time limit. So then we have a little battery in here, and yeah, same thing up here. This one, and there's a battery up there, and the same idea. I can test it.
Mark 表示，以上佢所展示嘅所有裝備都需要有消防技術人員進行最少1年1次嘅檢測。咁就算上面顯示係一切正常，但係由於呢啲都係同生命安全有直接關係，佢哋一再對學生強調，除咗要正確操作，仲要重視自己嘅工作。另一位培訓講師 Sudarshan Singh 將會負責傳授防火組件方面嘅知識。從1997年就成為咗消防技術人員嘅佢，喺6年之前成立咗自己嘅公司。佢希望將自己超過25年嘅經驗傳授俾學員。學生將會結合理論知識，同佢進行好多嘅操作培訓。
I've been doing this quite a bit of time, and when I learned all this, it was 20 years ago, and I have to learn. Because they are building out there, maybe 40 years old, 50 older than me. And I have to learn the past and the present. So it is very hard, and not everything we can understand every day.
培訓之中 ，Singh 有時會自己製造一啲嘅安全隱患，演習事故發生，然後俾學生同佢一齊應對，咁俾學員喺過程之中學習。呢一日喺現場 ，Singh 就同 Mark 一齊製造咗一場危機，俾學員們了解佢哋嘅安全操作。咁對於發生事故嘅時候，點樣為消防員提供所需嘅重要信息。
So we know that this devices has activate, and that's where the fire department will come in and say exactly where to go, the information. So usually they will find out if this around here is there any fire. If not, what they usually do, they will clear the smoke in the system here, and they try to reset the fire alarm. So make sure this system has to be normal all the time.
Right.
So let's do this one first.
So we're going to do a reset.
So we're going to do a reset, make sure
the trouble's gone away.
That's correct.
Sudarshan Singh 表示，每一次模擬演習對於學員嚟講都係十分寶貴嘅機會。
In our school, we're going to be doing a layout to teach them and practically some equipment to play around with them. And this thing was set up for them. And any other experience or question they will have, and I can talk to them and brief them. But I cannot put the whole building up here, like what I said earlier. This is just a basic thing. And when I started, I didn't have this, but I take a lot of opportunity to put this, to share my experience, my 20 years to these kids, and hopefully they become a good technician in the future for everybody.
培訓當中，學員們了解到 Singh 以及其他幾位講師嘅工作經驗，對於該行業嘅發展有住積極嘅心態。
There's a real potential for these guys to either be an employee, or to actually take it to the next level and be their own boss, like become an owner, like if they pursue and get all the certificates that they require. And part of that would eventually be also become an electrician. So they would have to go down that path also. But these are all options. Once they're in the door, they've got a lot of options. But what this program does is get them in their first step into the position.
So it's a very good opportunity long term, not just for a few years, but for the next 10, 20 years. So basically a full career, where you can kind of retire into. And, if you want to be entrepreneurial, you could maybe even start your own company within the business. So you can have a trade and you can actually be the business owner. And so then you can actually hire more people that are in the same position I am right now, maybe 2-3 years from now, maybe 5 years, 4 years. You can start a business from it as well. So you can be a business person and a tradesperson. So you can be a trade entrepreneur even. So it's a double opportunity even in a sense as well.
喺完成11個星期嘅培訓課程之後，本地僱主會提供為期4個星期嘅在職實習，以及1個星期嘅後續支援，俾佢哋親身感受係咪中意呢一份職業，從而作出選擇。僱主亦都能夠招聘到佢哋所需嘅技術人員。
So I guess we need to start looking at our employer base now in terms of job placements and looking at those pieces.
In the last 4 to 6 weeks since we started enrolling students, I think I've got personally at least 4 or 5 emails just to myself, along with the staff it'll be more, where employers are asking when this training will be done so that they can come for an interview event. So let's plan for when we are gonna organize the employer event.
講師 Mark 亦都表示，幾個星期嘅實習機會對於有意入行嘅學員嚟講係十分重要嘅經歷。
They will be on the tools, working with an employer, and then if all goes well, they will be offered a job because, like you mentioned earlier, there's a demand for this, and so it comes down to the training that we offer, but it also comes down to the student. The student has to want this job. We can provide the path and everything, present everything before them, but then once they're on the tools, it's really their job to make their boss want to keep them, right? And so they're going to have to work for 4 weeks and show that they're somebody that the employer wants.
呢一日啱啱好有一位公司資深主管前嚟技術培訓學院，同 Supit 同 K 以及講師們談論接落嚟嘅實習工作安排。David 作為一間電力公司主管，佢亦都表示，現時建築行業非常多嘅工程正在進行之中，佢哋嘅工作十分忙碌，面對住人手不足嘅問題，佢哋都要重新聘用已經退休嘅技術人員，再次返到工作崗位應對。但係因為消防技術人員嘅職責十分重要，因此對於招聘新嘅技術人員要求亦都非常高。
因为关于安全的东西，我们都要做到100%，所以只要安全这一点，我们不想因为缺失人手而降低我们的 standard， 所以我们真的需要很大的一个工作的那个人员去保证我们的那个 standard。
喺呢一次嘅培訓課程之中，大部分都係男性學員，當中只有1名女學員。培訓講師亦都期望日後有更多嘅女性能夠加入呢一個行業。
In my career, I have worked with a few women, and I mean I don't see a lot of women, but there is not too much. So in this fire protection thing, it's more on testing, and everything is been done. You're just going to a building and you're only applying fire code. You're not doing any installation, there's no much. You're just testing, make sure this performance is doing the job.
而培訓人員對於呢一批學員都表達咗自己嘅期望。
I want the students to take their careers and be progressive with it. So you've been given this opportunity. You've been given this opportunity to get your foot in the door. Now that your foot's in the door, run with it.
YMCA 同技術培訓學院方面亦都希望喺未來能夠提供更多咁樣嘅機會俾所需要嘅人士，亦都希望呢12名嘅學員有更好嘅就業方向。
We have all worked collaboratively and successfully on this project together, so it's been a really great partnership. I'm very happy.
Fire protection technician training is definitely going to change the life of those 12 people. In my heart, very positive and very, I feel very strongly for this training because we have seen how much is the need out there for these individuals. So hopefully we could do another 3, 4 or 5 cohorts coming up in the next few years to help all these individuals out changing their life from where they are to where they can be.
而社會發展及扶貧廳長馬康森對今次嘅培訓亦都給予十分正面嘅回應。
This particular program in the Lower Mainland is around connecting people that have had challenges getting work with the training to be fire technicians, a really strong in-demand sector, and then the employers are happy that they get qualified, skilled people that they can rely on. So it's a real win-win for the workers, for the employers, and in this case, because it's about community safety, it's a real win for the communities as well.
好啦，今集嘅節目時間呢又差唔多啦。咁如果觀眾對我哋嘅節目有啲乜嘢意見嘅話，係好歡迎大家以電郵嘅方式同我哋聯絡㗎。我哋嘅電郵地址係 mag26@fairchildtv.com。如果觀眾想上網重溫翻今集嘅節目，亦都可以上去我哋嘅網站3w.fairchildtv.com 點擊節目重溫一欄就可以睇得翻㗎啦。下星期同樣時間再同大家見面，晚安。